Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Meet the Organisation. My name's Trish Kai. I'm the Volunteer Centre Manager at VARB, and we're also joined by Lisa Faishka, who is the Chief Officer at VARB, and we're also joined by Nina Porter, who is the Project Coordinator at Energy Action Redhill and Reigate, who's going to tell us a bit more about her volunteering roles and what it's like to be an energy champion.
Okay, great, thank you. I've got some slides, so I shall share those. Right, so this is us, Energy Action Redhill and Reigate. Thank you to Trish and Lisa for giving us this opportunity. Okay, so who are we? We are a local organisation. We're a not-for-profit community benefit society. So we're not actually a charity, but we're a voluntary organisation made up of local people. And our main aim is to make homes more sustainable across Reigate and Banstead Borough. And we do this in two different ways. The main way really is reducing energy use. And so that's through improving people's home insulation, doing draft proofing measures, and encouraging like energy efficiency. And we also do a bit of promoting renewable energy. So like solar panels, we can explain, what pros and cons, things like that. So I think it's always nice if you can put a face to a name. So this is the Energy Action team. We are made up of three trustees, Jonathan Essex, Graham Burr, and Andy Baldock, and they've got different backgrounds. One's a local councillor, one used to work in marketing, one's an energy expert. There's myself, I'm the project coordinator, sort of keep things running. and then we have a team of energy champions. And this is a photo that we took at our last get together. It is actually the only photo I have of our energy champions. So I will actually ask Trish if she can take some more photos of some of our energy champions. However, this was at our last gathering last year. So the main aim for us in improving energy efficiency is to reduce carbon emissions. So about 25% of carbon emissions in the UK come from people's homes. And so that's really, we come from an environmental background, and that's what we're trying to do to reduce carbon emissions, to slow down global warming. But we recognise that energy efficiency has a lot of positive impacts, and it's some of these other benefits that matter most to the people that we're supporting. So that's one of the things we always ask people why it is that they're interested, and then we can tailor our advice to make sure that we're meeting what they're interested in, rather than just kind of pushing the environmental message. So the top two by far motivations for getting involved with us are that people want to save money on their energy bills. Obviously, the last few years that's been a big issue, but also in particular sort of in the older homes, people are concerned that they know that they're losing heat, and they're wanting to look for ways in which they can stay warm without it costing the earth. Linked to staying warm is staying healthy. Living in a cold home or a damp home has all sorts of health implications. Then there is the reducing your carbon footprint, and actually that does come top of the list, probably for about a quarter of the people that we go out and do energy surveys for. And it's quite a wide range of people that put that the top of their list, all ages really. And then a smaller motivation, one that we don't see so much, but I think will increasingly become part of the reason why people are looking to get more energy efficient, is increasing the value of the home. That's something we're getting information through from estate agents now, that if that homes, people are looking to move into more energy efficient homes. So that's sort of some of the kind of different motivations and some of the benefits of the work. It's really nice to work in a project where it has so many different benefits. It is sort of very, it's a very positive environment in which to work. So what do we do? How do we go about helping reduce emissions? How do we go about helping improve energy efficiency? So we do talks and events. That was an event that we went to recently. The core of our service is like home energy surveys. So this is where we go out to people's homes, usually in winter, with a thermal imaging camera, and you can actually see where heat is leaking out from the homes. We chat to them about sort of their heating, their insulation, different energy efficiency things. And then following the visit, we'll send them a report and some recommendations. So whilst we're there, we can also provide like we call it a smart pack. It's basically like we can tailor energy efficiency material. So things like draft proofing tape, the radiator foils that you put behind your radiators, the letterbox covers, energy efficient light bulbs. So it's sort of the smaller things, which in themselves might not make a huge difference, but you put a few of those together and it can make a big difference. In particular, reducing drafts means that your home will feel warmer at a much lower temperature. And then we also do loft insulation. So that's something that we can offer. We can do that free of charge if you're in a council tax band A to D. Otherwise, we provide it at a subsidised cost. And then finally, signposting and support. So when we're out talking to people, or if we're doing the report, quite often for some of the like larger items, like if they haven't got cavity wall insulation, or they want help, they need help with solar panels or something, then we will provide information about where they can go. And it's really important that we can provide like independent information. So we're very careful not to refer to specific suppliers, but we can tell people, what things they should be looking out for, what accreditations they should ask for, the questions that they should be asking if they're installing something. Or with grant funding, we can explain what the different options are. It's a bit of a maze currently with the grant funding for energy efficiency, but hopefully, we can sort of guide people through it. And if they need it, then we can, hold their hands whilst they're actually filling out the form, or, provided scripts for people if they want to ring up to inquire about it. So how could you get involved with Energy Action? Well, one of the easiest ways that I'd recommend would be, if you haven't already, please, get involved by registering for a loft check or for a home energy survey, and then you'll get to see us in action, basically, and also have a chat with the energy champions that come out to your home, and you'll just find out a bit more about what we're about. If you've already had a survey or that's not for you, you're welcome to attend our events. We've got one coming up in September about heat pumps at the Town Hall in Reigate. What would be really helpful for us is spreading the word. So people get a leaflet through their door offering free loft insulation, and 90% of them might think, oof, this might be a scam here, which is good on the one hand, but it does make it quite difficult for us because our offer is free. people do think it's too good to be true, which is a bit ironic, really. So we get a lot of referrals through word of mouth, and people saying, "Oh yeah, I've had this. Have you thought about it?" So spreading the word is really helpful, even if it's just liking our posts on Facebook, or if you've got a WhatsApp group in your street, putting a message on there. That's great. We do accept donations. It's probably not the primary thing that would benefit us. But if you are time poor and cash rich, then by all means, please, consider making a donation. And we would use your donation for buying more energy efficient materials that we can give out, in particular to like the vulnerable households. And then finally, last but certainly not least, considering becoming a volunteer energy champion. So this is our sort of two volunteer roles, the main volunteer roles, and that is to become an energy champion. So what that means is you would be the person that would go out, and you go out in a pair to somebody's home and conduct the energy survey, and then afterwards write up the report and send it through to them with some suggestions. So there's two different roles here, really. The first one is as the lead energy champion, and this would be the person that would, be taking the lead in the survey, and you would actually be the person that would complete the report afterwards. So you would write up a few suggestions afterwards. That's something where we will provide training. And actually you would need to do the training before you could do that. It doesn't require a huge amount of background knowledge. You don't have to be in the building trade to become an energy champion. It's something that I picked up just this last year, using sort of just background knowledge from having a house. And doing the training and then doing a bit of reading afterwards, and also accompanying other energy champions and learning things along the way. So there's a lot of support available. So things like, we've got a list of sort of the common issues that you might encounter, and sample paragraphs that you could include in the report for directing people to where there's extra support. I should say that the lead energy champion role, you can do it as a volunteer, or you can do it as a paid role. And at the minute, it's about 50-50. Half of our lead energy champions are volunteers, and about half of them are paid. The second role is a support role, and all of these are volunteers. This is a volunteer role. So this is where you would basically support the lead energy champion. So it might be you're just not confident enough, or that you don't want to get involved in writing the reports. And so you would go out on all the visits with the lead champion, and it might be that you're the person that goes and does all the thermal imaging, taking the photos with that. It is actually quite straightforward to do that. So people sometimes panic a bit and think, oh, it's very technical, but it is just like taking a photo. Or it might be that you're the person inside completing the questionnaire with the client, or it might be that the energy champion, the lead energy champion's doing the chatting and getting the answers, and you're writing it up. There's actually quite a few different things to be doing when you're doing a survey. So we found it's really handy to have two people there, both from a safeguarding perspective, but also from the amount of different tasks that need to be done. So when would you need to carry out all these tasks? Well, we really start gearing up in the winter. So really sort of from October onwards through to March, depending how warm it gets. And we tend to do most of our surveys in the evening, although we are also going to offer daytime surveys this coming year, because some of the older people in particular don't like people coming out at night. So we've got opportunities for daytime or evening. It really is flexible in terms of the time that you offer, because what will happen is that I will book the surveys to fit with what the availability of the energy champions is. So we have some energy champions that say, yes, I can do every Tuesday, and then I'll book them up every Tuesday. There are some that want to do just once a month. They'll do an evening each month. And it's a different day each time, but they give me, notice, and then I can book them in. So it really is flexible in terms of how much you want to volunteer. We do ask if you become like a lead energy champion, because there's training involved, then it would be worth you doing it, throughout the season. So like for a winter, but as I say, that might just be once a month that you do it. For the volunteer assistant role, because you don't need to carry out the training, but we would still do a basic DBS, we would ask that you commit to at least doing 2 evenings or 2 days of doing the surveys, just so that it's worth it from our perspective. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the opportunities. If you're interested, then you can either apply via the Voluntary Action website. There's 2 volunteer opportunities on there, and you can register an interest there. Or if you want more information, then please get in touch direct with myself. And there's our details on the screen. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, that was really interesting. Thank you. I've got a few questions. So you say that you're Redhill Reigate, but volunteers can come all over from the borough. Is that right? So
That's right. We our name is a bit confusing. We do a lot of our surveys in Redhill and Reigate, but we do actually cover the whole borough.
right.
And actually, this past year, we've had a lot from Hawley and in the Banstead and Tadworth area as well. So we do cover the whole borough. We do a few just outside the borough, if it's, we get the odd one in Betchworth or Caterham. So you can specify if you just, which area you're happy to travel to. We have some energy champions that live in Banstead. We've got one that lives in Hawley. So I try and match you, local to where you are. And you can say.
And if somebody wants a survey, they don't have to live in Redhill Reigate either.
No, it's the whole borough. We're actually part of a Surrey-wide project. So if you were watching this and you live in Guildford, Zero Carbon Guildford is offering it across sort of the whole of the Surrey area, and we work closely with them. So if they get a request for a survey in our area, they'll send it through to us. But there's a lot of local groups. So Circular Dorking, they offer them in Mole Valley. There's a group in Woking do it, and then Zero Carbon Guildford, coordinates across the whole area.
Didn't realise it was Surrey-wide.
Yeah.
Good.
It's good.
So we get contacted by corporate volunteers. Would there be anything that they would or could do possibly with you yourselves?
So I've thought about this, and I think the volunteer assistant role would work well for corporate volunteer days. So if you have, say, 2 days or 1 day where you can do volunteering, then we could either fix you up with the daytime survey, or you could do the evening and maybe take the afternoon off beforehand as a part of your so that you can read up and prepare and be ready for it. So we would just ask that you commit to, doing 2 sessions. If you want, we couldn't really offer it as a team.
No.
That would be the only thing. We would pair you
Individuals.
with an experienced energy champion. If there's an energy champion that we're happy to match you up with them. Or if you want to take it further, then you'd be welcome to do the training and make it a regular thing.
Yes.
I think some corporates have like 5 days
Some do,
volunteering.
yes.
So that could be, 10 sessions. That would be worth, if you wanted to get trained to become a lead energy champion, then we could, maybe do like 5 sessions. And along with sort of the writing up the reports, that would be really valuable volunteering for us. That would be great.
Okay. And if a volunteer doesn't have their own transport, is it easy to get around by foot? I know you said that you'd book people in, so you would kind of book somebody in if they was just using public transport or just walking, you would kind of book in.
So we do get houses in the back of Beyond occasionally. How I manage that is because we do have volunteers working in pairs, then usually I would arrange for one of the volunteers who has a car to pick up the other volunteer, either at the nearest station or at their home as they're going around. Quite often the volunteers will arrange to meet somewhere anyway and then drive around together, just because the parking's not always easy. We did have a volunteer last year who used public transport, and we managed that by picking up and then dropping off at stations.
Any questions? I guess if someone wanted to volunteer and they're really interested in learning more or like building more skills around energy efficiency and retrofitting, is there like space to do more training?
Definitely. I think this is going to be a growing area, and there's a recognized skill shortage in this area. So that's something that we are very keen, if any of the energy champions are interested in developing a career in retrofit, then that's something that we can support them in. So we're very happy to fund the training. So actually we have 2 energy champions who this year have done let me get this right, the DEA training, which basically means they will now be able to do energy performance certificates. So that's the certificate you need if you're selling your house, and then they're looking at potentially using this as a way to develop their career, or for one person it's a career change. They semi-retired and thought, actually I'd like to develop my skills in this area. It doesn't have to be something that you want to make a career in, but certainly for younger volunteers, or if you're looking for a career change, then it is a really good way in for you to see whether or not you enjoy it, whether you're interested in it, and to get the invest. We're happy to invest in volunteers to get more skills. And also, as there has been a lot of funding available for the training, and that's something that we think will carry on under the new government. So it's definitely high on the agenda.
Fantastic.
Sorry. So you said that you got training in October, November. Volunteers don't have to wait for that training. They can just...
No. So at the minute, what we're doing, so this is July. At the minute, what we're doing is loft checks. So because during summer, people aren't really thinking about their leaky homes. And and also we can't do the thermal imaging because we need a temperature differential.
Right.
So what we are doing is trying to target homes that might not have enough loft insulation. So the recommended amount is 270 millimetres, which is about 11 inches. And what we're finding is a lot of homes will only have about 100 millimetres because of the age, because that was the recommendation when they were built. So what we can do is offer a free top-up. So if you're interested and you want to, get involved straight away, then up until October, we still go out, we do loft check, and we do a basic energy survey at the same time. If you're happy going up ladders, that's great. If not, that's fine. You can be the person doing the filling out the questionnaire.
Okay, I have one more question as well. So you say that you go around and do events as well. Do you have any volunteers to help at those events as well?
No, we don't. And actually that would be great. Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. So if you like talking to people, or if we've got a pack actually now where you can deliver a talk to a group, or alternatively we have spinning wheel that we have on our stands if we go to community events, and it's like a little energy efficiency quiz to try and get people interested. It's always great if we can have volunteers that get involved and that share our enthusiasm for energy efficiency. Then if you're not keen on doing the energy surveys, then helping out with events would also be very welcome.
Brilliant. So Lisa, do you have any other questions?
No, thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you for a really, really interesting presentation. And yeah, if anyone is interested in volunteering for Energy Action Redhill Reigate, get in touch. And thank you, Nina, for coming along.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.